Avengers is a 2012 Marvel film that I thought was more than appropriate for me to rewatch, review, and talk about since the new Avengers movie is coming out. It's directed by Joss Whedon, and the plot is, you see at the very beginning, Loki, brother of Thor, arrives on Earth to steal the Tesseract, this cube that is full of this intergalactical energy that Loki tries to harness and use so that he can open this portal and bring an army of aliens to Earth because he wants to take Earth over, becomes king. So Nick Fury, desperate, brings all of these different superheroes together and forms the Avengers to try and stop them. Now, what I think of the Avengers is, do I have to say this out loud? Well, in case I do, this movie is fucking awesome in so many ways. I could geek out and gush over the whole notion, the whole idea that this movie was even made, that they were even able to make this possible. The fact that we were able to get all of these superheroes together in one film is astonishing to me. For somebody who grew up on these superheroes from the comic books, or for the cartoons especially, it's something you never fathom or think about seeing one day in live action, but also done so well, so successfully. But not just that. I do think it's a great movie as well. In fact, I've said plenty of times that The Dark Knight is my favorite comic book movie of all time, and that's still true. But I do think at the end of the day, this is the best superhero movie ever. And I'll try to talk about the difference in a minute. I want to talk about these actors, though, and the characters that they're playing, because there's so many of them. I want to mention everybody important. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Tony Stark. It's been said before, I'll say it again, Robert Downey is perfect as his character. He's awesome, he's charismatic, he's hilarious, he provides some of the funniest dialogue, great dialogue from him. And I love how he's the loose cannon, you know? I mean, and I don't mean, I guess, maybe that word applies more to a certain other person in the group, but loose cannon in that he can't even be in this group technically. He's too full of himself. Even Fury said this in past movies. But Downey is just, he's too likable that you have to have him forefront in this group. And I love also when we meet him and Pepper are working on Stark Tower. Wow! So that's just going on in the background, like in between movies. That's awesome. I even love that Pepper Potts, Gwyneth Paltrow, had a little moment in this movie. It's one of those things that it's so small, you almost forget about it, but when you do see it, it's just a nice reminder of the world that's been established, the universe that's been set up by the previous Iron Man movies. So those moments were great. Chris Evans as Captain America. Here's a guy who, this is his first movie after being brought back to today's time. He was in the 40s. He's so used to that world, that time, those customs. But here he's struggling to deal with it, obviously. And I like those little character moments with him, but more so seeing him become the leader of the Avengers and just naturally becoming the leader. It makes sense because of his background, his military background, but also Chris Evans plays this so straightforward. You buy him as this character. Any comedic moments with him for not understanding a reference, I think is played perfectly, but it never makes the character look dumb or naive. He's still smart. He's still capable. The scene in the battle, the moment where he's ordering the cops to go out and do this, protect this perimeter, save these people, even when he's telling the members of the Avengers to go do this, go do that, here's your strengths, use this. Like, he's the perfect leader for the group. Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, the Hulk. So this is Mark Ruffalo's first time playing Bruce Banner, and I don't want to do too many comparisons between him and Edward Norton. It's hard not to because it's all in the same universe. But whether who's better, who's not, I'm just going to say that I like Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner. I do. Here's a guy who obviously you could tell he's been through some shit, but he's adjusting to it. He's dealing with it. He's dealing with it probably more so than we've ever seen Bruce Banner try to. He knows how dangerous he is. He knows how out of control the Hulk is, but he's dealing with it. He's in these different countries, helping people. So I like that. But then when he freaks out, he fucking freaks out. The moment in the helicarrier where he just rages out, goes after Black Widow, such a awesome first moment of him turning into the Hulk. And then clearly in the battle at the end where where Captain America tells him, Hulk smash, and he smashes, he destroys things. I love the Hulk in this movie. It makes me want to see a Hulk solo movie once again. Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I think out of all of the introduction scenes to our heroes, he might have the best because he shows up a little later when Loki gets captured and the lightning goes off and he just shows up on one of the jets, and the way how he takes Loki out. He has a personal stake in this plot, in this villain. It's his brother. So clearly he wants Loki back to Asgard for other reasons that don't even pertain to Earth. But he too wants to help protect Earth. He feels partially responsible for Loki and for all of this war going on now. So I like that. And the forest fight between Thor and Iron Man and Captain America joins at the end. That fight between the heroes is awesome. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. We might as well talk about Loki. He's the main villain. Here's a character who was the villain in the first Thor movie. And he was there, he was good, but you thought you were done with him, at least for the moment. The fact that he came in just the next movie as the main villain of the Avengers, that brings his stock up how much higher now? He's now a credible threat, a credible villain, a capable villain. The fact that he went off, he joined this planet of aliens, was able to get them to give him all of this armor and command and lead the Chitauri army. That shows how capable he is, but also how much he likes to be evil. This is the most evil I've seen Loki in any of the movies. He just seems like he loves doing what he's doing. You might have 2 or 3 moments where it looks like there's some humanity left in him when Thor's trying to talk him out of it and get him to stop this. But no, he loves it. He wants to see humans kneel before him, and that's all he cares about. Also, just seeing him wear the helmet with the horns on it is something that you see in the cartoons, you see in the comic books, and you go, yeah, obviously that's what Loki would look like in the comics. But the fact that they put that in the movie for the moments that they did, that's why Joss Whedon is awesome. He knows what the fans want to see, what the fans know of these characters, and he gives it to us. You can't complain about that. I want to also mention the other characters, though, right? Just because they don't have superpowers doesn't mean they're not important. Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, they gave her so much to do in this movie. And she's a character who was just introduced in Iron Man 2. She was cool in that movie, but you didn't really know how much of a big part of S.H.I.E.L.D. or this whole group she is until you see her. You see how great of a spy she is. Then the interrogation scene, 2 scenes technically, the other one with Loki, she's phenomenal. She's great. She knows how to pull the strings and make you think you have the upper hand when clearly it's really her getting the information out of you. And the fight scene she has, she's capable. She's one of the only ones who doesn't have superpowers, but she can take care of herself. I like the side plot of her having red in her ledger and wanting to wipe it clean. So it's building her backstory up as a great mystery, but there's a lot there. So I like that. And Scarlett Johansson's just fucking hot. I mean, how can you not look at her and not think that? Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. A lot of people would say, and even Jeremy Renner says about this, that his character gets shafted in this movie. And he's not lying, right? At the very beginning, he gets mind controlled by Loki, and for at least half of it, maybe a little more, he is under his control, and he's doing all of these dastardly deeds, and he's not a hero for a lot of it. And some would say that, oh, you know, that sucks for his character, they didn't do him right, he's just off to the side. All of that, I understand. And it's probably hard to balance all of these characters, especially in the first Avengers movie. But I don't know if it's Jeremy Renner's acting or what, but I do feel like I get a lot out of his character, or at least enough out of his character. Between the very beginning, him being a loner up in the rafters, and then just him at the end, first dealing with coming out of this mind control thing, having a personal vendetta against Loki, and just what he was capable of with his bow and arrows. I mean, he was a badass in his own right. Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. I know Fury probably didn't start out as a black guy in the comics, but I don't see anyone else playing Fury. Samuel L. Jackson is great. He has his little moments of going Samuel L. Jackson over the top, yelling and stuff, but he also, I like how Tony Stark especially is aware of Fury's secrets that he has in S.H.I.E.L.D. and them trying to uncover it, but he feels like, Fury feels like he's doing what's right. You also have Maria Hill, who is his right-hand woman, and Agent Coulson, who, I love this character, Coulson. I almost forgot until rewatching this how funny he was in this movie. I mean, this movie has plenty of laugh-out-loud, jokey, funny moments. It does. And that's what helps make this movie fun, enjoyable, especially rewatching it. You have fun watching this movie, which is why it is, I think, the best comic book movie, superhero movie, because it's fun. But Coulson's scenes, especially with him and Captain America, great stuff. The action, the special effects, and the battle in New York, you really can't say much more about it. It's breathtaking. It's something that I'm sitting back, I'm watching, I have this smile permanently on my face that just won't go away, because how can it go away? I'm watching this, things that I never thought I'd see on screen. All of these comic book characters. There's so many shots, so many moments that just, it feels like a comic book come to life. A live action, moving comic book. I love Joss Whedon. Just for this one movie alone, what he did. I don't really know too many other people who would have been capable of making this happen. I love this movie. I love this movie. The battle in New York at the end goes on for, I want to say 45 minutes, if not longer. And that's where you take it in. That's where you go like, wow, this is really happening. The scenes of Tony Stark flying through the city and the aliens behind him. And there's even one long shot, doesn't look like there's a cutaway, of you're going to each member of the Avengers, each hero, and they're doing what they're doing. Some of them working together. It's just like, this is why they're heroes. You see other ones trying to save people on the streets, and like, that's what you want to see in a superhero movie. So guys, I could go on for days, clearly, about this film, but why do that? I want to hear from you now. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the very first Avengers movie? Do you love it as much as I do? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.